This is a reverse method to what traditional photographers use window light as their main light, and they have to stay very close to the window. In this case, we're getting a chance to use the whole room, and so we're using the window as a fill light, and then we're going to balance flash the main light. And the advantage of that is with the ETTL flash, you can track the lower light because of the higher ISOs that the DSLR cameras allow now, especially these low lighting situations. And the advantage of using two lights is it creates more three-dimensional look of a portrait versus just using one light. And the other thing is that you use the window light to flat light the person. In other words, it's almost like direct flash, only in this case it's direct window light, and then you come from an angle and bounce the flash to create your main light. Overcast day outside, I'm in AV mode, window light behind me. I point the subject towards the window to evenly light the face. Now I'm going to use no flash. I'm just going to put the autofocus point on the eye and take the picture. Now with this camera and lens, the lens is a special image stabilization lens, so I can hand hold at the slower shutter speeds. Okay, there's the picture. Kind of flatly two-dimensional look, and you'll see I'm hand holding at a 20th. Well, with this lens I can easily hand hold down to 1/15 of a second, and there's a pretty good exposure. Going to dial down the ambient exposure to a -2 stops. That's going to underexpose the ambient now. So I'm going to have to use flash to control the main light. In this case, it's going to be flash bounced over my left shoulder. Okay, you could use a -1 ambient if you wanted to. It's up to you. Okay, I'm showing where I'm going to do a flash lock, and I'll use that multi-function button right there. Click to do my flash lock, and now focus point on the eye and take the shot, and here it is. Okay, much better modeling than that first picture. Now, as I look at the histogram, it's ever so slightly underexposed. Okay, so what do you do in a situation like this? Well, in this case, I'm going to add a little flash exposure compensation to up the flash just ever so slightly by 1/3 stop. Okay. Down in 1/3. There it is. And personally, I like to do a flash exposure lock every time. I just make sure you consistently take it from the same spot. There I did my flash lock. I put focus point on the eye, take the picture, and it's much better. Now, when you look at the histogram, this is what I consider perfect exposure. Okay, on this first image, you can see it is a very flat, two-dimensional look. Not much modeling to it. Okay, and now on the second image, now we are using two lights, and the main light is coming from the flash. Fill light is the open window light, so we have a much more three-dimensional look and very nice portrait. I just needed to add just a little more exposure. Adding 1/3 stop flash exposure compensation gave me that perfect picture on this third one. And it's a two light setup. It looks very much like I lighted the portrait with two studio lights with umbrellas when all I used was on-camera flash. Very cool. And here you can see the comparison between the last image and the first image. Big difference. I use Capture One by Phase One as my software program, and it allows me to set highlight and shadow warnings and For me, this third image is right on exposure within 1/10 of a stop. And the nice thing about shooting raw is with this software is I can compensate for the exposure if it's a little bit off. Like in my second picture, I could raise the exposure a little bit, and that's why I use this program.